When you think about what an AP course is, it's a college-level course offered in high school. AP students, when they get to college, they are more likely to graduate on time. The credit they may have earned from passing an AP exam while they're in high school is going to save them money relative to their peers in college. And so, metaphorically, looked at ourselves in the mirror as a school and as a district, we recognized that the students in our AP classes didn't really match the demographics of our school. And so, why was that?
Some barriers to getting in AP classes. In humanities or a literature class, you might have to write an essay to get in, and then the teacher would grade that, or you'd have to do summer work. Really, we took away the prerequisites. I think the fear was if you opened up the doors and you allowed kids in, they weren't going to be as successful. People said, you really going to do that in District 218? Yes, we are. At the end of the day, it's about making a difference in kids' lives. What better way to do that than challenge them through AP classes?
I think a lot of it was skepticism, right? Are they going to have the work ethic to be successful in the class? Or every day am I just going to have to come in and say what they should have learned in homework, and then, we're losing time working on the skill development and things like that. But really, every time we have an expansion, whether it's going from 11 kids to having AP at the freshman level, I think we've gotten a lot of the right kids in the class, and they're challenging themselves and rising to the occasion.
We treat them more like a college student. You know what I mean? And I think that shift where they're not being, just kind of dragged along, where they really have to take ownership of learning. I think all of those things combine to make it so that students that maybe traditionally wouldn't have been in there are now seeing that, like, hey, my friends are putting in the work, I want to put in the work, and I have to learn on my own. And I think that's why we're able to be more successful with it, because these kids are getting an opportunity to be in a space where they're being challenged and they're meeting that challenge.
I would say it's my hardest class. It definitely, it's manageable, like with the help of my peers and stuff, I get my work done, but it definitely is my hardest class, I would say that.
It's really hard to explain when so today we were doing an egg drop. If you mess up with one single thing, everything falls. You have to take everything consideration, air resistance, friction, everything. And I think the reason why I'm having more of a hard time than others is because this is my first AP that I've ever took in my life. Usually when I'm in a regular class, they give us a lot of time to just adjust with the material and do a lot of practice. This is the opposite.
I know the class is hard, so one of my main goals is to really balance it with fun and challenge to get the kids to push their limits a little bit. I don't want anyone to shut down. I want them to know that they can count on me for support. I think that's probably the most important thing that you do, to know that I care about them and I care about their success. And then I find that my students are a lot more willing to step up to the challenge.
Her teaching style, she believes in you, so she'll teach you something, and if you don't understand it, of course she'll help you, but it's she knows that deep down we know. She's really you could do it. It's really just, I feel like the class, a lot of people may overthink and be oh, you might, it's just really about overthinking, but honestly, she believes in us, she believes that we could do it.
So in there, the way that it is, you've got that cushion part,
yeah,
but it's gonna fall like a rock. So with the materials we have left, can you add anything to it to help it slow down as it falls?
Okay, I'll check then. I couldn't test it at home because I had no eggs and I was freaking out. I was just in panic mode. So I went to the materials, got all the materials that I possibly needed. I asked Cody how to do the actual parachute because I didn't know how to do it. Then he had to leave, do his thing. I'm Cody, you can't leave me. I end up figuring it out. However, since I was in a time crunch, everyone's Mo, everyone finish, you have to go before the period ends. I'm oh my God.
All right, so on our way out, ladies and gentlemen, I need your grade sheets. That's kind of your ticket. We're gonna go out and we're gonna start testing.
We only had to use 6 sheets of paper, 4 rubber bands. So we was okay, what can we really do that will help our egg not correct? So then it was like, okay, we could make a parachute kind of and help like use balloons, use different things. So I was like, okay, yeah, we could do that. That would work.
All right, I got Mo. Do we have something together for Mo yet?
So I cut pieces of strips of piece of paper, and then I tape that to the parachute, tape that to my project, and then I have like a pyramid with paper on top of it. This is, oh my God, it's tangling. And then at first I thought I was gonna like actually do something. Like maybe we'll survive. You never know. You never know. Okay, I'm about to drop it. 3, 2, 1.
Oh no.
You know what? Oh, it's cracked. Like, I feel like if the egg was in more, it probably would have been okay, but that part was just sticking out.
It didn't look good at the beginning.
A lot of people like say failure is like something to like be sad about. I wouldn't say that. I feel like learning is the most important thing about this. If you don't learn, what's the point? You eat, you sleep, you make mistakes. You're not perfect, you're not a robot. Of course you're not gonna be able to make something so perfect in the first try. So that's why next year I'm taking multiple APs, and hopefully next year I'll be able to understand how to handle the material going forward. Because if you don't take risk, then you're just gonna regret it later on in the future.
We began tracking the data in 2009. There were 398 AP students across the district. Our last year, our enrollment, we had more than 1,200 AP students that accounted for more than 2,400 exams. And thankfully, that recognition came this fall. Shepherd High School and Richards High School earned the Bronze AP School Scholar Award. And so that's based on the College Board metrics, that a certain percentage of your graduating class took at least one AP class over the 4 years they were in high school. The second metric is the college credit metric, and that's based on the number of AP exams that were passed. The final metric is called college optimization, and that's based on the notion that a student takes 5 or more AP classes over the course of their 4 years, but they have to start taking those AP courses either their freshman or sophomore year.
Well, this last year, we saw a 9% increase in our 3, 4s, and 5s, which can give you college credit. The numbers don't lie. Any kid from any environment can succeed in an AP class if they're up for the challenge, as long as they know someone's there to care about them and to walk them along that journey and support them.